In the early 1900s, Henry Ford set out to make an automobile anyone could afford. The Model T became so affordable that a worker could buy it in only 4 months' pay. By the 1920s, the market had reached saturation. Those who desired a car already owned one, as 90% of all trips were made by railcar. Around the 1950s, things started to change. The Streetcar Conspiracy, by the author and former U.S. Senate antitrust attorney Bradford Snell, refers to the allegations that GM and other companies like Firestone, through subsidiaries, purchased and dismantled trams, trolleys, and electric trains in many cities across the United States in order to eliminate the car industry's #1 competitor. Others argue that the fall of public transportation was due to the culmination of other factors such as the Depression, labor unrest, market forces, urban sprawl, and other causes favoring private vehicle ownership. One author was quoted as saying, "Clearly, GM waged a war on electric traction. It was indeed an all-out assault, but by no means the single reason for the failure of rapid transit. Also, it is just as clear that the actions and inactions by government contributed significantly to the elimination of electric traction." Americans had a wake-up call with the oil crisis in 1973, and since then, alternative forms of travel have been on the rise. Most notably again in the 2000s with the US involvement in the Middle East and people's realizations that we as a country cannot be dependent on fossil fuels. Then again for others, it was simply just an idea one morning.
You know, one summer day, I just said, you know what, it's time for me to just find a new way to get to work. I was just so tired of being in a car. And literally within a week, I had my bicycle.
You were rolling top down, ready to fly on the street.
I just realized that I didn't want to buy a car. Like, I could get everywhere I go is like within biking distance.
David, let me give you a ride home. No, I'm good. You know, because I'm a walker and I like to explore it. And when you walk and when you take the subway and the metro, you get a chance to connect.
I've primarily been on my bike, but then I sort of realized that I run probably 3 or 4 miles a day. I live 3 miles from work, so you know that you can fit it in while you're doing something that you would have to do anyway. You know what I mean? It's sort of like I'm saving time a little bit.
And didn't have the money to fix my car, so I started riding bikes. And I found that it's not only as easy in a city like LA where there's so much traffic that you can actually get places often as fast, if not faster, but also that it's incredibly enjoyable. It's a wonderful way to really explore a place and really get to feel a part of it, as opposed to kind of being in your cooped little autonomous bubble. You're really part of the street, part of the urban experience.
It could take as long as an hour to get to work in a car. And it usually takes me 45 minutes. I've done it in like 37, which is pretty crazy.
I think it was when gas prices got really expensive a couple of years ago, and I was saving up money to buy a house, and I said, you know what, I live close enough to our studio or to work, or that it's about 2 miles away. I can take my bike to this. So I started borrowing a friend's bike because I didn't have one at that time of my own, and started doing that. And I got funny looks when I'd come in the studio gates. They think that, you know, actors are supposed to have money. We're supposed to have cars. We're supposed to have nice cars, and they see me in this like secondhand bicycle. And for me, it was sort of like taking the ego out of the commute. I think people have that, especially in Los Angeles. You have to have that kind of car, you know, to have a sort of status. And it taking exactly the same amount of time as it would in my car, and I'm saving gas, and I'm getting to see my city in a different way. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm gonna do this as much as possible.
Started in the summer and I was biking. My legs got ripped. I got really tan. Got freckles on my face, and it was just awesome.
People are opening up, and you get a chance to see things when you take the subway and when you walk, and you get a chance to say hello.
But there's so many other ways to travel in this city and in any city, as long as you're moderately healthy and you know you have $100 to spend on a bicycle, or you know, a good pair of shoes. You know, there's plenty of ways to get around. and I think it really kind of behooves everybody to seek them out. My name is Wilson Bethel, and I play Wade on Heart of Dixie.
Rich Sickler, First Assistant Director, Motion Pictures and Television.
My name's Jennifer Hall. I play Missy on Up All Night.
My name is David Anderson, and I'm an actor and dancer.
My name is Seamus Dever. I work on the show Castle, and I play Detective Kevin Ryan.